What's up, Quacks? Today's video is going to be very interesting. This is not a sketchbook. Well, whoops, I spoiled. This is not a sketchbook. This is I don't know what I would call this. An art book? Some sort of like, storybook, I guess. This is basically this. So basically, in my painting class, towards the end of the semester, I was getting I was having art block, and I didn't know what to do. So my professor, I guess, suggested I do like this sort of art book thingy, because my whole, I guess, thesis idea for it was to do my Flower Boyz story. So I was like, oh, cool, I should do that, because I had this book that was completely like empty, and I was like, oh, I need to, you know, fill this out and actually do something with it. And I was like, okay, cool. So basically, this book is full of like collages. There's no drawings in here, it's pure collage, and there's text. And basically, this is supposed to be for that Flower Boyz story that I'm kind of doing, like an art project, whatever. And this is pretty much kind of like a journal slash like poetry-ish sort of book that's like a window into the characters' minds. Each section is like represents the same different characters. I will be saying which one is which, because, you know, I feel like it could be confusing. So yeah, and this cover is very simplistic. I didn't really want to go too crazy with it, because I was like, I feel like it's most about the inside, not the outside. So this is supposed to be Angelino, because the wings, I think. Yeah, like the wings, and also because he's the tallest. This is supposed to represent Candy, Felix, and then Oz. Because I couldn't find anything else that would like represent Oz, like with a flower. I couldn't find any purple flowers, so I was like, guess I'll go with the butterfly. The reason why I put butterflies is because like they fly, and they're like they're the characters that want to leave Wonderfield the most. Oh yes, I should probably like give a very brief explanation of what the heck the story is about. In short, they live in this town called Waterfield, and pretty much Felix does not want his friends to leave because he grew up with these friends. Angelino and Oz want to leave the town, and Candy is getting curious, but she's ultimately like, And Felix wants to use that uncertainty to kind of convince her to not leave, or, you know, explore outside of the town. And Wonderfield has a lot of dark secrets, and yeah, let's just dive right in. So, these first few pages are going to represent Oz. I'm going to read out the thing. I had waited so long to be free, to have no one order me about, telling me who I should be. But I don't think I'd ever sat down and thought about what it really meant to be on my own. So this is supposed to represent how like Oz. So this is like an idea that I had when I was looking through like the different like texts that I had and all that. And the idea was that Oz is like uncertain about the future, because it's like after he leaves Waterfield, it's like, well, what the heck do I do from here? Where am I supposed to go? You know, because it's like he has all this freedom. Now that he's out, he didn't escape, by the way. I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, this is like his thoughts. But it's like, if he does leave Wonderfield, where exactly is he going to go? What is he going to do? Because, you know, he hasn't really thought about that. Because when you have too much freedom, it's like you kind of don't know what to do with that freedom. So you're like, Anyway, so I spent all night thinking. Turns out freedom felt a lot like being lost. Everyone had such a clear purpose. For the first time in what seemed like forever, I was truly alone. This was intentional, because I liked the idea that this was like black, and then it gradually kind of was like crackling, so it's like it's reaching out to the words, so it didn't look completely empty. And then we get to the black page. So that was Oz's section. This is Candy's section. This is probably my favorite spread out of the entire book. I could hear my childhood giggles and the rustling of the leaves. Memories locked tight in a corner of my mind. So I think this is just Candy reminiscing on like her childhood, I guess. Yeah, I had a lot of fun putting this together. It was really hard though. By the way, all this texts were from like the same book. I feel bad for kind of ripping it apart, but I never planned on reading it after a while, so I was like, I might as well use it for something. It had been a good life. Perhaps this is where my story was supposed to go. I didn't need a new life, but the idea was fragile and shattered the moment I saw something mysterious. So it's a little confusing how it's structured, but you're supposed to read it from like this way and not, you know, this way or whatever. So yeah, idea was fragile, and then this. So I thought it was cool how it was like set up. So this is kind of like the if you saw that community post, it was supposed to be like kind of the build up to that one painting I did where Candy is in a forest and there's like the creature that she's hiding from. This is supposed to represent like that. And this is her escaping. Like, this is supposed to be metaphorical, or like, you know, her escaping the forest because she's being chased by some creature. And this is supposed to represent that creature because I didn't feel like recreating it with collage. So this is supposed to be like a metaphorical, like, representational thing. All the stuff isn't in this book is representational, not literal. I screamed, my voice echoing through the cold forest. A thought darted through my head. My friends, they were all in danger. And I also covered the face. I mean, you can still see it, but the whole point was I wanted the character to be faceless, so anyway. Oh, this page is kind of a pain to do, because the one thing I didn't like was that these pages didn't really handle the acrylic that well, but at the same time it kind of did. I mean, I don't know. I needed to tell someone. Everything's messed up. So, I hate that sound so much. So, yeah, when reality isn't real. So this is kind of like, I don't know, I just found these 2 stickers in my book. I was like, oh, that's an interesting idea. And it had these stickers. I was like, oh, cool, I could do like a dual page thingy. So like, my idea was that this is kind of like the representation of how, like, the reality in general. This is not for anybody. This is like just general of like how their reality is kind of is like being warped because of like they're discovering all these terrible things about Wonderfield. So yeah, now we're on to Angelino's part. This is just a sticker, there's no quote here. The books that the world calls immoral are the books that show the world its shame. Dang, that's deep. So this is actually supposed to represent Angelino, and this is supposed to be like Felix kind of observing. And the reason why I picked that is because Angelino loves to read books, because he wants to know about his past, because he doesn't know where he's from. He just fell from the sky, so he's doing a lot of research on, like, you know, cosmic stuff, the supernatural. And Felix doesn't like that, because if Angelino wants to discover his past, that means he wants to leave Waterfield, and Felix doesn't want to be left alone, so he's like, no, I don't want you to leave, Angelino. So he's, you know, keeping a sharp eye on him. So that's why there's a lot of book metaphors and like symbolism here. This is supposed to be like kind of like a blacklight thing. That's why it's colored in neon. It looks better in the dark, but unfortunately I cannot. There's no like dark area I can be in right now, and I don't have like a light for it. So yeah, it doesn't look that great. But curious minds thrive in mystery, because Angelino's mind is thriving in mystery. Okay. Wait, no. This is still Angelino's part. I was almost starting to believe that there are portals to other places, to other lands. Maybe I could sneak through. Maybe. Maybe I belong to the stars. Yeah, this is very Angelino core. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I definitely belong to the stars. I'm definitely like a star being. I'm still working on that whole backstory. Let's just say that. It's coming soon. Okay, so I had to glue all these pages together because when I was doing this, you know, I was still in school, so I needed, like, I was kind of running low on time, so I had to kind of hurry it up. And I think this all worked out in the end, like in terms of pacing. So this is Felix's part, and it's a little messy because the pages, like the paint would kind of go onto this other page, and I didn't like that, but I didn't feel like fixing it. I think the messiness kind of adds to the quality. This is very weird core-ish. It's very, I don't know, something about it's a little calming. I like it. So this is supposed to be very, like, you know, sunshine and rainbows and cute. And this is supposed to be representing Felix's birthday, because that's how, like, all this started. He met the 3 of the other characters through his pool party birthday thing when they're, like, toddlers. If I made a wish today, I wish to never grow old. That's his other fear. Felix does not want to grow old because he's, like, afraid of growing up. That's, like, that is the entire purpose of the story, is that he's afraid of growing up, and he does not want to grow up and acknowledge that he has to. So that's why he wants to stay in Wonderfield, because I'm gonna leave that into another video. I don't want to spoil too much. I dream of stars that glitter. I dream of everlasting hills. Together we will sit and rest. Oh, that's nice. Okay, this is where it gets a little unhinged, because this is where his, like, more possessive side comes through, and I really liked how this came out. I mean, yeah, the visuals aren't amazing, but, like, just trust me, okay? I'm proud of how I wrote this. I say, we are having the time of our lives. This is a happy place to be, but you maintain a careful distance, looking out the window, beyond the mental horizon, far from home. Why? This is supposed to be towards Angelino, but I guess because he directed towards Oz, like, he doesn't like the fact that Oz and Angelino are just so fascinated with the outside world, because Felix is like, why do you guys want to leave Waterfield so badly? We have everything here, you know? It's like, oh boy. Anyway, this is our journey. Come home. For your own good. Yeah, I intentionally did that to, like, really emphasize that he's, like, getting a bit possessive. Cherish the beauty of this life. There is nothing else to lose. As a matter of fact, promise one thing. As a true friend. He's really pulling that manipulative card. Alright, and this is the end page. My friend, will you promise never to leave me? And this painting, this is a collage thingy that's like from a book that I have. And yeah, that is it. I will admit though, I didn't like how it's kind of wrinkled. It looks a little ugly. But I guess also it looks cool in a textured sort of way, so I mean it kind of worked out. But that's it. That is the story, I guess. It's mostly like a in-depth thought sort of analysis of the characters. My classmates and professor like suggested I do something else, like a journal or something like that, which I might do in the future. I'm not really sure, because this was kind of hard to make, but I was also on a time limit, and also it was very like spontaneous. Like I just had the idea like after, like it was near the end of the semester, and I just had the idea, so I was like, oops. But if I had planned it, it would have been a lot better. But yeah, and also before I end this video, this sort of like style of collage is called found poetry, because I found all these words from either their stickers, or they were from like cutouts, or they were from a book. Most of the quotes were from like the same book. It was this book called actually I'm gonna have to just put it on the screen because I can't remember the name, but yeah, it was from this one book, and I felt like all the dialogue and like text and stuff just really fit the overall theme I was going for. Like I was really surprised how well it fit the like just the general vibes of it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this like little lore deep dive thingy mabopper, and I'll see you quacks later.
Hang up, and I will call it this.